Good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting me to deliver a talk on water crisis in Bangalore in Green Return Summit 2025. I'm from Institute of Science, Bangalore. So when we look at the water situation of Bangalore, the Bangalore requires 18 TMC of water. The 60% of the water comes from the Kaveri River, which is 129 kilometers from the city. Balance the 40 to 45% is met from the groundwater sources. As you all know, there was a severe water crisis in Bangalore during 2024, the last year, and we reached the day zero situation mainly because of the erratic rainfall in the Kaveri Basin due to changes in the climate. Hence, there was a less water supply in the Bangalore city, and also there was a reduced groundwater the table in the region because of the poor groundwater recharge coupled with the over exploitation. So when we analyze the reasons for the water crisis, it's primarily because of the absence of the water urbanism in the urban planning, which led to the transition of the forest landscape to the paved landscape, and the absence of urban spaces that allow the free flow and percolation of the water and air, which is essential for the survival of the near region, and lack of groundwater recharge coupled with the over exploitation and loss of interconnectivity among the lakes. The solution is to create the ecological pore spaces. The landscape is porous with the cover of vegetation and water bodies. Now, when we look at the Bangalore of today, which is about 740 square kilometer, way back in 1800, this city had 1,452 water bodies with 82% green cover. Because of the good ecological condition, the temperature in the city was about 14 to 16 degrees Celsius during the May month, the peak summer. And for a few days in December, the temperature in the city was 0 degrees Celsius. And earlier reports, there are reports saying that we were growing apples in the place called Orchards in Bangalore. Today, we have 216 water bodies in Bangalore, and the green cover is less than 4%. Because of that, temperature in the city has gone up to 34 to 37 degrees Celsius. The city, which was a garden city in 1973, became a garbage city, and today is a dead city. Now, when we look at the topography of the landscape, which is undulating, facilitated the interconnected lake system in Bangalore. Now, when we analyze the causes for the water crisis and flood, it is mainly because of loss of wetland and trees, because of the unplanned, irresponsible urbanization, then loss of floodplain, loss of interconnectivity among the lake, narrowing the drain with concretization in the name of remodeling the drains, then loss of riparian vegetation in the region. So now when we analyze the transition in the landscape from forest to paved, so using the remote sensing data of the 5 decades. During 1973, the city landscape had 68% green cover, that is vegetation. Red is the building, blue is the water body, yellow is the open space, the agriculture land. 92, with the industrialization, there was a there are changes in Pinya and Koramangala region. Then 2000 to 2002, you see that the transition happening in the outskirts because of the IT BT sectors in the region. 2006 intensification started happening. 2009 further intensification. Today landscape is covered with 87% of red or the paved surface. Now, when we look at the number of trees in Bangalore, we estimated using the high spatial resolution remote sensing data with the ground data. Our study shows that the city has 14 lakh 78,000 trees for a population of 95 lakh, which means for every 7% there's one tree. As you all know, when we breathe, we give out a carbon dioxide to the 540 to 980 grams per person per day. And per hectare of tree, sequester the carbon to an extent of about 7 to 9 tons per year. By that ratio, we need the city should have had the 7 to 8 trees per person, but what we have in the city is 7%. The one trees there because of this, there's acute oxygen deficiency in the region. Now, when we look at the trees, the lakes in Bangalore, 1973, we had 730 plus the water bodies in Bangalore as per the Survey of India topographic map, which has come down to the 260 in the recent times. So there has been the decline of 79% of the water bodies in the city, that about 500 plus water bodies we have lost in the city due to encroachment and other problems. So now the city landscape, there has witnessed a 1,078% increase in the pet surface with 88% loss in vegetation and 79% loss in the water bodies. The situation we have reached is enough. We need to decongest the city. There is a severe water crisis as well as the oxygen deficiency in the city. So now the urban growth has surpassed the carrying capacity of the region, evident from the inability to the withstand the supporting capacity as well as the assimilative capacity in the region. Now, to bring awareness among the public as well as the decision makers, we developed the Bangalore Urban Information System, which is a decision support system available online for everyone to visualize the kind of the urbanization happening in the city, which helps in advocacy and decision making. Now, when do the city really require the lake? Let us try to understand the thing. So, when we look at the ecosystem services, the groundwater recharge is one of the significant function done by the lake. Our study shows when the lakes were there, the groundwater table was 80 to 100 feet, and when the lake was removed in 5 or 6 years, it went down to 600 feet. And today, after 24 years, we have gone down to 1,000 feet. There is no water in the region, which highlights that the lakes are required to do the groundwater recharge. Now, the linkage between the groundwater the table and the lake is evident from the Saraki Lake, which was rejuvenated the 3 years back. I was a member of the committee. Within a year of rejuvenation, groundwater table improved from 920 feet to 610 feet. And the last year, when the entire city faced a severe water crisis, the Saraki Lake and its surrounding area had enough water, and the borewells had the water less than 500 feet. And because of the high moisture content, temperature in the region was 2 to 3 degrees lower compared to the city the thing. And this is the model to be replicated to regain the city. So now when we look at the other services provided by the lake in the form of fish fodder, etc., it amounts to about 10,500 rupees per day per hectare in an unpolluted lake, whereas in polluted lake it comes down to 20 rupees per day per hectare. The vegetation and the wetland help in moderating the climate evident from the analysis which the temperature which was 21 degrees in 90s became 24 degrees in 2000 or 28 degrees in 2010, and today it's about 36 to 39 degrees. When you move from the center of the city in a direction, you will see that wherever the lakes or the green cover is there, the temperature is 2 degrees lower. Even my campus, because of the good vegetation cover of 54%, we have a 2 degree lower temperature in the campus. Now, the removal of the wetland has led to the increased instances of flood and the water scarcity. The frequency has increased. Now, the lake is being mismanaged, evident from the dumping of solid waste, the encroachment of the lake, and the release of the untreated or partially treated sewage into the lake every day. And this is evident from the frequent frothing and fire in the lake, and also the poor the eutrophic condition in the lake. So when we look at the lake affecting the people, when we analyze that, the people are using this lake water to grow the vegetables like the spinach, the radish, etc. When we analyze the fish as well as the vegetable that is grown in this region and also the milk that is available in this region, we notice the heavy metal in all the food items. That means the our food is getting contaminated because of the poor lake condition or abusing the lake with the industrial effluent containing the heavy metal. This is also affecting the health of the people in the city in terms of the cancer and kidney failure. The Bangalore is number one as far as cancer instances are considered. And kidney failure, which was 1 in 1 lakh about 12 years back, has come to 1 in 5,000. And more school and college students are losing the kidney, which is quite serious. So now we have also developed the Bangalore Lake Information System, and we have monitored all lakes in Bangalore and the water quality as well as the information about biological organisms like algae, zooplankton, fish, and the economic worth of the each lake and encroachment, etc., are available to the public as well for the decision maker. That's the Bangalore Lake Information System, which is available online, help in advocacy and decision making. Now, to reclaim the Bangalore, the water, trees, and the ecology is needed to sustain the city of the future. Now, we need to green the Bangalore landscape through the native species. Involving the children and the youth will certainly work as we have been doing in the city of Bangalore over the last 2 decades. And then if you look at for the water, if you look at the city, the landscape receives a rainfall of 700 to 850 millimeter. If you quantify the water yield in the catchment, it amounts to about 15 TMC. The Bangalore requires 18 TMC, which means 70% of the water required for Bangalore is available in the form of rainwater. The best option is to do the rainwater harvesting. In addition to root of harvesting, the next best option is to rejuvenate the lake and retain the rainwater so that surrounding groundwaters also get the recharge with the clean water, as it happened in the Sarki Lake. The city uses 18 TMC of water and also generate 18 TMC of wastewater. If we treat the wastewater based on the nature-based solution, then you will have 16 TMC of water. That means 15 TMC because of rainwater and 16 TMC because of the wastewater treatment. The city will have a 31 TMC of water where the demand is about 18 TMC. But for this model to work, I have a 5R formula. First R is the responsible citizen. When people are acquire the environmental knowledge, they will be the sensible and responsible. When they are responsible, they'll rejuvenate the lake so that we can retain the rainwater. They also allow the reuse and recycle of the wastewater. So when you look at the nature-based solution, what we introduced at the Chekkur Lake way back in 2010, where my study report shows that 2005 Chekkur Lake and surrounding there were 25 wells there. Our report shows that the presence of nitrate in the water, which is a nitrate is a carcinogen which introduces cancer. At the time, we pressurized the government to rejuvenate the lake. When the government constituted a committee, I was a member of the committee. I could introduce the nature-based solution of integrating constructed wetland and algal pond along with the secondary treatment plan. And when we monitor this lake for the last 12 years, we see about 85 to 90% removal of the nutrient, and this is the low cost and economical way of treating the sewage in the urban and rural areas. So now we need to rejuvenate the lake. So we have developed the rejuvenation blueprint. We monitor the lakes, the water quality as well as the sediment that is there in the thing. We analyze the quantity of sediment silt that is deposited in the lake through the bathymetry, and our study shows about 11 million cubic meter of the silt is accumulated in Bengaluru and Vartur Lake. When we analyze the quality of the silt, the Vartur Lake and Bengaluru Lake, the silt is rich in nutrient. The worth is in terms of NPK, which is equivalent to about 15,000 crore. And the Bengaluru Lake has heavy metal, while the Vartur Lake still didn't have any heavy metal or any contaminant. So we gave this silt to the farmers in the region. The 400-acre farmers were given the silt, and after 4 months, when I visited the farmer's field, farmers showed the bumper crop, and each farmer told me that they were benefited because of our decision of giving the nutrient-rich silt to them. And they made a profit of 1,50,000 rupees per acre per one season. They grow this crop thrice, the vegetables like spinach, pudina, radish, brinjal, etc. So, which highlights that we need to include the degradation cost of developmental project in GDP. That means we need to have a green GDP. This will also remove the anomaly in the current GDP, which doesn't take into account the degradation cost. That is where we need to do the natural capital accounting and valuation of the ecosystem services in the region. So now we have done the natural capital accounting and valuation ecosystem services, considering the provisioning, regulating, and cultural services, which amounts to about from the forest ecosystem in Karnataka, it amounts to about 2,841 billion rupees per year in 2005, and today it's about 1,835 billion rupees. And when we look at the NPV of the forest ecosystem, as said, it amounts to about 73,000 billion rupees in 2005, and today it's about 47,000 billion rupees. This decline in the NPV is mainly because of the degradation or the deforestation of the forest to an extent of 35% in the region. Now, we also looked at the lakes in Karnataka. We have about 39,000 lakes. We quantified the ecosystem services in terms of provisioning, regulating cultural services, which amounts to about 280 billion rupees per year. And NPV of the lakes is about 7,320 billion rupees. So, to bring awareness in the public as well as the youth, we organize a symposium once in the 2 years, popularly known as Lake Symposium. So the uniqueness of this event is the audience is about 1,000 to 1,200 the delegates take part in the event. 30 to 35% of the school and college students, they do the simple experiment like carbon sequestration based on water quality monitoring, lake monitoring, etc. When they attend the symposium and also do the presentation, the capacity building happen, the knowledge dissemination happens. So we also conduct the environmental education program to enhance the environmental literacy in the region through the Know Your Ecosystem program. The 25th year, we have conducted about 500 plus event. And apart from that, we also offer a course on environmental management for in-service working professionals in a hybrid mode. We have conducted 23 sessions. So that's how we are doing the capacity building to enhance the environmental literacy in the region. If you need more details, you can write to me. This is my email ID, and these are the portal where you get all the publications, etc. When you access the portal, you will see our publications as well as at the YouTube, you will get my talk, including the TED talk of 15 minutes. See, agenda of our science is to sow the seeds of the science in the brains of these youngsters. When they acquire the knowledge, they become sensible. When they become sensible, they'll be responsible, and they'll be the responsible youth are the asset of the nation. When they do a good job, there is a smile on everybody's face. Thank you very much.